daily dose of honest science.
Hi guys, welcome back with Corinna. As I told you in the last episode, we want to have this episode on a positive note. So right now, we covered in the last episode what is going wrong in academia as a postdoc. So Corinna, you're not only here as a senior postdoc. You actually initiated the postdoc initiative at the biomedical center. So why did you feel or had the urge to do that actually?
First thing, I need to correct you. I was not the one. I was one of the ones.
One of the ones.
Which is important because I'm very happy and honored that I was one of the postdocs that started this initiative. So there were many with me that had the same urge. And why did we want to have that? Why did we want to have a postdoc initiative? We postdocs had the feeling that we are left alone by university, by, also our bosses. We were looking for events, seminars, workshops that are tailored for postdocs. University offers quite often workshops and seminars for PhD students, and but we are on the next level, and we would like to take it even a little further. And so, like, for how do I write a grant? How do I apply for this? And also, what is there besides academia? And there were no events scheduled for us, so we thought we can organize that ourselves, and which is not so easy, but we will come to that. And we also wanted to kind of like unite and network and feel like we are a group. We are not single fighters in the lab. We are a group, and if we hold together, we can support each other. So that was the driving force, and as I said, I'm very honored that I was one of the founding members when we initiated this, and when we decided how we want to work together, that we want to have a little part on the webpage so we are visible, especially for new postdocs arriving at our institution, and give them a guideline. So we were putting together a document where you can find information, where you can go for this and that and so on. So for people to find around, even where you find a place for your childcare or so. And then we decided we would like to have a speaker and a co-speaker, and it turned out that I was elected as speaker, and I felt even more honored after getting all this to run, that people were believing in me, that I could be a good speaker and bring this initiative forward. And I have been the speaker and still am since 2018, and I'm very happy that I can still support and promote being a postdoc. Problems that we were facing was that very often if you want to organize events, you need some money and you need more men and women power to get things organized. So we were reaching out to other institutions in Munich. I mean, we are lucky. We have so many different research institutions. We were trying to contact other postdocs, and it turned out that during the pandemic, which was even a driving force for that, we founded the so-called Munich Postdoc Network. Why was the pandemic driving that? Because Munich is a very large city. For those of the listeners who have not been here, we are quite from the area. If I want to travel from our biomedical center to the Helmholtz Center, for instance, it would take me more than an hour to go there, just to get an imagination. So I think when we all started to do video conferences, that was the good start for the Munich Postdoc Network, because then it was so easy to come together and talk and discuss without anyone having to travel through the whole city. So I think both that the BMC Postdoc Initiative and the Munich Postdoc Network, this is a way how we can support each other. We are a network. We can send out emails with help. I need this and that. Is there anyone out there who knows how to do this and that? And we have now the force of so many postdocs to organize and start events that are tailored for us and where we get information that we want.
Definitely. So I'm actually honored to be your co-speaker.
Yes.
Which happens to be this year, right? Yeah.
I'm very
I was
happy.
dragged in by you.
Well, we had such a nice conversation when we met first. I guess that was kind of
yeah,
like
that. But I'm really
love
happy.
in the first sight, right?
Yes, but I really liked it, and I was like, I give it a try, and I really like it, and also being MPN member actually opens up a lot of new views actually. Mm-hmm. So I just want to point out that the problem that we face in, I think, LMU, we have a so-called postdoc or like a graduate center we have, and they somehow do something for us, but it's not really tailored for postdocs in such a sense. So that's why we had the urge to implement this.
Yeah, and sometimes I have the feeling that it's kind of like, since it's coming from top, it's not really, I mean, it's not matching, right? And maybe they are not always aware of what we really need, but we are, and we can therefore easily organize the things that we really want. And that is also something like the decisions to make, whether I want to stay in academia or not. There is so many things that need to be discussed, and so we started to invite people from industry and come to lunch meetings, like the lunch meeting we were just having at the end of September again. Maybe we can invite someone there as well. But we used to invite people, especially during the pandemic, to join the online meetings, which was a lot easier since they they didn't have to travel and could join from anywhere in the world. So we had people who talked about what kind of jobs one can do in industry, and it turned out to be quite interesting.
True. So I was last time and there, and we talked about everything that was new for the medical faculty. So it's also good to know what administrative stuff in the background is happening. Just as a contrary, like Max Planck or Helmholtz, they have even designated coordinators, which we also have in the MPN network, who are actually helping to coordinate everything. So you have to imagine that, I don't know why the LMU decided not to have a coordinator in such a sense, but you see that every institution does it differently. But they all have in common that they see that postdocs need someone who is there where you can go and be like, I have problems also.
Yeah, you need some kind of support, and they do that for the PhD students. They have all these graduate schools where you have people to go to, counselors you can meet, and so on. And there is nothing really like that for the postdocs. And institutions like Helmholtz and Max Planck, they started to organize that from the central system. They decided they do want to have that. That's why they have these coordinators who do a wonderful job. And it's really fun to interact with them and the Munich Postdoc Network. And for our situation, the both of us, we are doing that in our spare time. But it's still fun.
It's still fun, but a lot of effort in the side. And sometimes you feel guilty because you're like, actually, I should do some lab work, but you're right now doing something else.
Yes.
But I'm getting used to it.
Yes, and we both know it is so important, and postdocs are appreciating that. I was just a couple of weeks ago when I was on the way to my car in the parking lot. This postdoc came up and he said, "Well, I'm so grateful that you are putting so much energy and so much effort in. Thank you so much for keeping this together, for doing all this networking, for forwarding all these important information." And that made me feel good. It's kind of like.
But after a long time, you said like it was not that before. So because a lot of people left.
Yes, so there was a big dropout of postdocs. So because projects were finished, and so many of the ones that had been in our mailing list for quite some time, they left, and I don't know, maybe we need to be a little more aggressive with being aware.
Maybe, yeah.
And maybe we just have to advertise this a little bit more again at our research center, and people are maybe not aware. I don't know, or maybe it's just a time where there's not so many postdoc positions available at the moment in our center. That's something we could discuss.
But at least good that we are doing such a good job that
Absolutely.
they feel heard. Which is a main thing that we want to do, right?
Yes,
So we want to be there and tell them what kind of problems, or maybe solving the problems.
So our extra effort is appreciated by the postdocs at our center.
So now we have the initiative at the BMC, and we have the MPN network, right? So what actually can we do even more?
So one interesting thing that started last year is the so-called Postdoc Appreciation Week. That was last year for the first time that we had a Postdoc Appreciation Week in Germany, and few of the members of the our Munich Postdoc network and a couple of coordinators from the networks in Hanover, they initiated to having this Postdoc Appreciation Week. What does that mean? That's a week that is dedicated to postdocs, to make everyone aware of that there is postdocs. So just like the two of us try to do a little bit here in this podcast. To have a base for networking, for exchange, and so a whole week that's dedicated to us, a week to celebrate us, a week to make aware of us, and a week of exchange and meet new people and learn a lot of things.
Maybe networking as well.
Yes, absolutely. Networking, I think, is one of the most important things, and this is, please, audience, listen to that. It's so important to network. I was always a rather shy person, and I thought like, well, I'm not going to talk to anyone that I don't know, and if it's not a good friend that's introducing me to that person, no, I'm just too shy. I'm not going to do that, and I don't know. I don't want to bother anyone. No, please go out there, say hello, say who you are. You have the opportunity to meet so many really interesting people, and most of them are interested in meeting other people as well. And then you exchange your email or your LinkedIn or your Twitter or whatsoever, any kind of the social media platforms where you can interact. And it is so good because then all of a sudden you remember, wasn't there someone that I met that did that and that? Mm-hmm. And then you contact the person. And then you might initiate a new, really cool project because you've remembered that. And then there is this really nice experiment coming out. And that's wonderful. So please do networking. I think that I didn't do enough networking when I was younger. I'm trying to catch up. So if you want to network with me, let me know.
I'm also open. So I'm also like, if someone needs help also, I'm open to that. So just listening to the people. The Postdoc Appreciation Week is happening
from September 18th to
18th.
22nd.
22nd. And for the audience, maybe if they're interested, I leave a link in the description that you can see what kind of workshops we have, or in general, if you're just interested, what we have to offer. And for the people who are outside of academia or in general science, I think it's also a good opportunity to see what is happening with the postdocs. So what are maybe subjects that are really important to them, which needs to be discussed, because in the end we are serving a greater purpose. And in my view, the wider public should know what is actually happening, and somehow maybe also tell the politicians to look at us a bit more and, don't make law against us.
Yes, that's very important. So that's the part of making people aware of us. Yes, very much, very important.
Yeah.
And many of the events are online, so they are really Germany-wide. So many institutions and universities and
registration is
universities
free.
In most of the cases, registration is free, but you need to register in order to get the links for many of the events. But yes, the video conference systems make it a lot easier now, so you can even be at University of Tübingen and listen to a talk that's taking place there, or you join some of the events that we have organized here in Munich.
Yes. Well, so you, especially with Camilla together, who was also part of the MPN, and
Nele.
And Nele. But this specific one that I'm talking about, you two
Well,
organized?
we started, but we got a lot of support of Nele. So
okay.
I can just shortly say I ran across an article in the Zeit where a professor from Dresden, Professor Leising, he was highlighting a topic that was long kept, how do you say, under the carpet, maybe?
Yeah.
Under the carpet, which is kind of like, unfortunately, coming back to all the problems we discussed in our first part, that there is, to some extent, a power abuse in science, in academia. And he is doing research on that, and he is writing many articles and trying to analyze and find out what the reasons are. So I got in contact with him and was asking him whether he would be willing to do such a workshop, event, seminar kind of event during the Postdoc Appreciation Week, because I think this is a topic we should make aware of, because sometimes postdocs and PhD students, you might be listening to that as well, are not aware of that they are in such a situation. So sometimes it's just that you don't feel comfortable in the relationship with your supervisor, and you can't really pinpoint what the problem is. And so sometimes the problem is power abuse. And so therefore we wanted to highlight that topic, and then Nele comes into the part, because we felt like we need a counterpart. And we need a female person also, since Professor Leising is male. And for gender equality, we really wanted to have a woman also focusing on that. And I'm very happy when Nele came up with Cécile de Press. She's from the German Aerospace Center, so as a woman in a field where I'm pretty sure she had
It's
a
the
tough fight.
minority.
And she is, in her talk, focusing a little bit more on sexism in science. And so I think we really have organized there a very cool event. I'm very much looking forward to what both of them, Professor Leising and Cécile Turpres, have to report. But I know that they are two speakers who are working very interactive with their audience. So everyone who is interested in this topic, please come, please join us. Please ask your questions, share your experiences and your thoughts about that, and maybe also just see what are options to change that.
Definitely. So I'm really happy that you're organizing with Nele and Camilla this whole event, because I don't want to end on this very, bad note or so. But it's something that we also have to admit that power abuse is, of course, happening everywhere. It's not like a problem in
Absolutely.
academia. But, and I faced that on my own, this power abuse, unfortunately, through my former PI. But, if we don't talk about it, how will the public know?
Exactly.
And since it's part of not only PhDs, also of postdocs, how they get abused and manipulated and so on for the purposes of other people, I think it's really important to have this and make aware of it. And the Postdoc Appreciation Week is, of course, to highlight what a postdoc is doing in the lab and advancing science, but also we have to really say out loud what is going wrong and what we can do, actually. And Professor Leising, I think I sent you the link. He was part of this from ZDF, this one short documentation about power abuse in academia. And there were some horror stories. I will leave a link in the description that you can look at yourself. It's a German documentation, so maybe you can turn on the English subtitles. But I was really shocked when I saw this, and he said it's common practice, unfortunately. So being a postdoc myself and you, I think it's really important to highlight.
Yes. Yes.
So this is also something, but of course the Postdoc Appreciation Week has much more to offer. There are many, many cool seminars and webinars that you can attend. And what is really cool is the effort that we do joint forces with all different kind of institutions around Germany. So this is really like never happened before. Do you know where this originated from?
If I recall it right, it started in the in Great Britain. It started in Great Britain, I'm pretty sure. Please correct me if there's anyone among the listeners who knows better. Just please leave a note.
Leave a comment,
leave a comment and maybe a good citation. But I think this was something that was initiated in Great Britain, and I'm glad that we adopted this.
Usually
really
we are kind of the last ones to do these, but somehow we are at the forefront now.
Yes, and I'm so grateful to all the people who had all this energy put in to set this up last year, and with all the events that we already had last year, and now for this year, I think it's 160 events taking place during that week.
160.
Yeah.
We stepped up.
Join.
So I'm eager to, have all the information in the description down below, and I'm really looking forward to it. Also not trying to do experiments at that time. So I can, it's not like that you have to do the full-on journey. So please feel free to cherry pick what you want to listen to. But I think it's a good way also for postdocs outside, like in America or England or wherever you are, maybe to tune in for the webinars. It will be held in English, I guess.
Most of them,
Most of them. So it's also something for you, maybe that you see how Germany maybe works. And we should communicate more often about this.
Yes.
Okay. So that's it actually for this episode of what is actually a postdoc, and is it so rosy as everyone says? Thank you very much, Corinna, for coming.
Thanks.
Such a pleasure.
Enjoyed.
Yeah, you. I'm really happy. So since I'm new, I don't know, of course, how to do podcasts and so on. So I hope the listeners are still there and not napped away.
We are looking forward to your comments.
Yes. So leave a comment. Really subscribe if you want to have more content. I'm trying to get really cool people here. And what is dear to me, the next episode will be covering my journey in academia and what I had to face and how I might do things differently. Let's see how it goes. And I would love to hear if you have any questions. I can put it to Corinna and tell her. But yeah, that's it. It's so cool that you were here and that you really had this exciting conversation about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thanks to all the listeners.
Yes, thanks a lot. And we see us in the next episode. Stay curious. Bye.